Yeah.
All right. Welcome in episode 162. And things are looking a little bit different on the set, so we're going to drop some news here in a second. Um, we're about 20 or 48 hours away from professional fighting slash amateur fighting debut. Um, but even bigger news than that, you can see it all over the bar. We got a new friend of the show. Now the official beer of Going for Two, the only beer good enough for Going for Two. That's Miller Lite. That's yeah, that's probably a big one for us.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of local
It's a
ones.
cool shirt you got there.
Very cool. I don't know if you can see it, but
519, baby.
yeah, these shirts are officially made Miller Lite for London. And who doesn't? When Chad comes over here, we would put like an empty can of something else on the bar, but we'd pour Miller Lite into our glasses anyway. So
It was like the unofficial beer of Going for Two that no one knew about.
So now we don't have to worry about that. We can just go ahead and do our thing.
I can do that anytime I feel like it.
Yeah, so feels good, and we're gonna keep plugging away with that. We had an awful lot to go on as far as this weekend was for football. Thursday was a big game. We're gonna get into it because I was there. I know that you have your views. Uh, Not a whole lot to report as far as college football goes. I mean, Kelly will probably be on here at
I
some
should
point.
boycott the show this week.
We're not going to give her a hard time because I mean it kind of played out the way that we expected it to. We kind of thought that like a Texas team was going to be in a better position for a playoff berth, and the fact that they beat, which is now a red hot Alabama team, um, on at home is obviously huge for them. um, so I think that the Texas and Oregon teams have set themselves up in okay positions despite the loss. But we should probably start with Thursday night football. And me, I was out in Pittsburgh. Uh, Will Levis
Billy Jeans.
um, went out there, said that he expected a little bit of a better crowd. I can tell you, he probably just got hit in the head so hard that he couldn't hear the crowd because I was in there and the atmosphere was nuts.
Oh, there was lots of. That's why I asked you how the weather was because they're talking about how cold it was, and then on Twitter, what I kept seeing was Steelers fans because I was under the Going for Two Twitter. It wasn't even like the Titan one, and people saying that this is not a prime time game. That even bottom bowl, lower bowl, upper bowl doesn't matter. There was too many seats that were empty. Now that being said, too many seats in Pittsburgh, maybe 2,000 versus other places, maybe 20,000. But it was just something that people were definitely saying.
It's people that aren't used to watching the game, so the seats aren't always full. But if you look off to the side, they don't sell those standing room seats. Those are people that buy seats and just decide to stand there. And those were packed 3 deep. And I can assure you that if Will Levis,
Billy Jeans.
if he felt comfortable in that stadium, probably would have put together a better performance.
Whoa. Okay, hold on here. So, did we watch the game, Chad?
I was going to let you guys buy this one.
Okay. How many offensive linemen did they have to go through? This is in Pittsburgh against the Pittsburgh Steelers
they
defense.
had no crowd, so
hold on.
It was basically back to COVID time.
Hold on. Yeah, an offensive line is the centerpiece of the offense, in my opinion.
Right? One of the guys that plays there is a center, so that makes sense.
What's that?
One of the guys that plays on the offensive line is
centerpiece.
A center, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
But when you are down to your backup right tackle, who then gets taken out on the 5th play of the game for his bicep, he's out for the year now anyway, or shoulder, sorry. And then you go left tackle, who gets knocked down to the backup left guard, who goes in for the left tackle, who has to move to left guard when the left guard gets knocked out, and the left tackle comes back into the game. It sounds silly. We're playing musical chairs right now. At one point, I looked at Cindy and I said, "We're going to be putting Jeffrey Simmons out at guard. This is what's going to happen."
She probably doesn't know who Jeffrey Simmons is, does she?
But no,
he might have done a better job.
Stop it. In reality, I have talked about the left tackle being an issue in Tennessee the whole year. Andre Dillard has not been has been the worst free agency pickup of the season so far for Tennessee. But all in all, Will Levis, in my opinion, did not play that poor for playing in Pittsburgh on a primetime game on a short week against a great defense and an offensive line that was rotating around like musical chairs, and the best offensive weapon you have being DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he played poorly. There was certainly some plays he wants to take back.
And there was certainly some plays that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for poor officiating.
You can say that again, but the officiating, again, if you watched the actual game and not just what you saw on the field, was going both ways. There was terrible calls both ways.
So you watched the AI version. I watched it live in front of my face, and yours is
with
correct.
no replay, with no analysis behind it. You standing in the stands watching
I know what a penalty is.
You're watching
I don't
it
need someone to
400
tell me
yards
what a
away
penalty is.
and claiming that you know the play. Regardless, many people talked about how the officiating, and the officiating overall for the entire season has been horrendous.
The weekend was awful.
Yeah, so it hasn't been something that's new to anything. But again, it wasn't a poor game, I don't think, in my opinion. That being said, okay, are you still that high on Kenny Pickett? Don't tell me you are.
What, you don't like people with game-winning drives?
I don't like people that can't put together back-to-back decent-looking drives. That's what I don't like.
He doesn't call the plays.
Stop. This is not. You know what? Up until that game, I probably was with you that it was Matt Canada. Last week and this week made me question whether it's the both of them together. Kenny Pickett certainly takes his shots and certainly has the ability to bring plays to the field. He's doing the same thing as Ryan Tannehill, and he's not elevating anybody around him.
Well, he's not doing the same thing as Tannehill because he's winning games.
He's not winning games. TJ Watt is winning games. Let's be realistic here.
So TJ Watt's playing quarterback on all the game-winning drives.
TJ, is your defense the one that's sealing the games almost every week for you guys? Is TJ Watt not known as the guy who finishes it in the last 3 minutes of every game that gets a sack or a strip fumble to end the game? Is that TJ Watt the last 2.5 years?
Right after Kenny Pickett leads the team down for a touchdown.
But then your defense is the one that seals it for you every time. I'm sorry, man. I cannot believe that you're going to sit there and say that Kenny Pickett is that good.
So you're saying it's negative to play complementary football. Interesting.
Complimentary football, he barely put together a good-looking game until that final drive. He had a prayer throw to Deontay Johnson that looked good. That was about the only play up into the final drive that he looked good on.
We just had a conversation about peaking at the right time.
Oh,
you just have to know when to peak.
Stop.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Regardless, this is the first time I've had a loss in Titans history that I walked away not upset with it because I liked what I saw on the field. I think that if we have one more receiver in the offseason and a left tackle, we have an offense.
Okay. Well, I don't think that he's a bad quarterback. I said it to you 2 weeks ago. He wouldn't have had any sustainable drives if it wasn't for poor officiating. You can talk about the offensive line shuffles. That's cool. The Steelers were shuffling around their entire secondary the entire time.
The secondary is as important as the offensive line. Oh, and if we're going to talk secondary, we had an undrafted free agent. We had an undrafted free agent playing nickelback. We had a third-string cornerback playing second-string cornerback because SMB got knocked out. We had Terrell Edmonds playing starting safety because our starting safety actually got knocked out, unfortunately. So if we're talking rotating players, the most injured team of the last 3 years, and you're probably going to make a joke right now, it's fire strength and conditioning coach, which I think you should too in Tennessee. But the most injured team over the last 3 years has been Tennessee. So injuries has been something we've dealt with over time and time again.
Injuries happen. It's part of the game.
That's right.
What I'm saying is, doesn't matter. One team won, one team lost. Fortunately for me, again, Steelers were on the right side of it. You guys had a heartbreaker yesterday.
Honestly, I'm not upset about it.
Hear me out. I thought it was a replay when I saw it. I didn't know it was live.
So,
I heard the Brady 12 shirt. I just realized that.
Yeah, baby. You're not my guy. I'm going to say the same thing I said when Notre Dame lost to Ohio State. Because the exact same fucking thing happened. Baker Mayfield has been under scrutiny all year. He's not played great the last few games. Had a rough first half, really good second half. Leads him down the field, scores a touchdown with 49 seconds left. I've said this before. Todd Bowles is a fucking loser. Have I said this? He's a loser wherever he's been.
Yeah.
He is scared when he's coaching he's coaching to not lose his job instead of to win games. And I think Herman Edwards said it best that you play to win football games.
Yeah.
If you're gonna just sit back and not just any quarterback, a rookie quarterback, be comfortable in the pocket in the last minute of a game, you deserve to fucking lose. You set your team up to fail. It's that simple. You don't score 40 seconds left and allow them to score 30 seconds later. You're not playing Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
You're not playing Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and the Bills. No offense to the Texans receivers here and Tank Dell and those guys. Those guys aren't all pros. CJ Stroud is on. He's at a foot and not. He's gonna be rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm. He already won that.
Yeah, like he won that before this game. This one solidified it. But you literally made his life comfortable. You didn't go after him. You didn't blitz him.
Mm-hmm.
You let a rookie quarterback be comfortable and torch you. You should get fucking fired. It's that simple. Like, yeah, we fired Josh McDaniels, not us, but the Raiders.
Yeah.
Cool. Buccaneers, fire your head coach. He is the one holding you back. That defense is the same defense that won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Same fucking players on all levels, except for I think 2 guys are gone.
And it's his defense.
It's his defense.
Yeah.
So don't tell me they don't know the scheme. You are scared to make plays. You're playing to not lose your job, and you should be because of that. You should lose your job.
Right.
It's not like we're last week of the season we've clinched our division. We want no one to get hurt. You're in a division that sucks.
Yeah.
If you win 8 games, you can win this division.
Right.
I don't think that we can win this division with 8 wins. Or I don't want to get 8 wins. All I know is if we keep Todd Bowles, we're in the fucking Drake May conversation. And I'm happy with that. I said that Baker was a Band-Aid from the beginning, and I said, you're going to get 2 Bakers.
But that Band-Aid was twice. Could Mike Evans have asked for a better quarterback to come there for 1 year in his contract year?
Never
The
said
guy who's going to throw it up to him all the time?
100%.
Yeah.
We're not. I'll be shocked if we re-sign Mike Evans. To be honest,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be a big contract. But I said Baker's going to do enough to make us lose Drake May, because I do believe, as much as we're probably going to talk about Caleb Williams at some point today and what's happening, he is going to be the first pick overall. I think there's no question about that.
I saw a mock that had Marvin Harrison Jr. going first overall.
So did I,
I'm
which kind of threw me off.
Give me a break.
But Caleb Williams is good. He's going to be the first pick overall. His ceiling is very high. I understand that. I've said from the beginning, Drake May's number 2. We might have a chance on now. Tom Bowles is our head coach. He's going to fuck up our season.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to win the division, you might as well play for a draft pick.
Was that 4 in a row now that they've lost?
Yeah. We were 3-1, and now we're 3-5.
Well, you're definitely going to have, Carolina's going to be ahead of you, right? For sure. I probably think that Chicago is going to probably place ahead of you as far as draft picks go.
And Arizona.
And Arizona. The Giants probably. The Titans very likely could be up there as well.
But, I don't see any of those guys drafting quarterbacks.
No.
Will Levis looks like a starting quarterback in the NFL. Arizona, I don't know what they're doing.
That's the wild card right there. Is who knows what they'll do?
Panthers can't draft a quarterback.
No.
The Bears, I think they can't move on from Justin Fields yet.
I don't know if this kid's going to take over for him.
He was bad in this 4th quarter. He was really bad.
Yeah, but I think that they like the way, the style he plays.
Tyson or Tyler Bajan or whatever.
I don't
Is
give
it because his dad will go in there and arm wrestle the hell out of the
Is it because he's just he's not just saying Jesus take the wheel, whatever happens, happens? Because that's what it looked like yesterday.
It did.
So I do believe that Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 quarterback drafted.
Yeah.
Which puts the Bucks in line for Drake. I'll be a really fucking happy person.
Even after that, I don't know. I'm not going to call it a character flaw. I'm going to say homeboy soft.
So I have a really big. We talked about this last year
Yeah.
with guys crying after games and
That's fine. You don't go sit in the stands and cuddle with your mom.
No, and then
That's
go and
messed
say
up.
you're going to go home and cuddle with your dog and watch TV. Bro.
That's messed up.
You have to be you're the face of your franchise. And I need to know that no matter what, as a quarterback, you have to be unfazed. You can be pissed off that you lost. If you want to go fucking cry in your locker, cool.
Yeah.
The second that camera's on you, you cannot be that guy.
Man, if you want to cry on the sideline, that's cool. But you don't go cuddle with your mom in the stands. That's weird.
And I'm not I don't want to take a shot at him because I do think he's
Too late.
first.
Already
Yeah.
did.
But I don't want to shit on a kid that's already down. But I honestly believe he did play a good game. I will give you that. And he got outscored. When you score 38 points, you should lose a football game.
Yeah.
Offensive, you score that you should not lose.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst defenses that I think we've ever seen in college football this year. This last 5-week period for USC, Caleb has not done the team favors in some of those games, but that defense has been downright atrocious.
Their coordinator got fired after the
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean this respectfully. I don't know if teams are going to look at it as a good thing or a bad thing. Me personally, I would feel it'd be very tough to draft someone that I saw do that. Only because in college it's okay.
Yeah.
You pull that shit in the NFL, your teammates will fucking destroy you. These are grown men. That's what comes up. That's the why.
I think he's going back for another year.
Yes. Well, Who are you gonna go play for? And like his dad needs to shut up. His dad needs to the fuck out of it. Saying, "Oh, we're gonna pick where we go." Relax, Lamar.
And wants a piece of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What's happened the last few weeks? You cannot be saying those things.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. Like,
It was very unprecedented when it happened. Okay, I wasn't a fan. You guys know I wasn't a fan when he came into the draft, and I don't know if there's been anything shown this year on paper or on film. Is it possible that Bryce Young is the Josh Rosen, and they ship that boy out of town and they go and draft Caleb? Could that happen?
after 1 year, maybe.
I have not seen a single bit of highlight footage from Bryce Young this year. Mind you, that's like he doesn't have great offensive weapons, but they certainly built around him a little bit, right?
They gave him veterans.
Yeah, they gave him some vets, and offensive line isn't that porous in Carolina, and you're playing in a very weak division. But it's just he's done nothing. If Will Levis goes into Billy Jeans goes into Tampa's game this week and beats the shit out of Tampa, is there going to be some real internal discussions in Carolina because we saw them play already once, and that looked absolutely god awful. Like he looked like a more than a rookie quarterback. He looked like a high school guy playing football.
We had this conversation before this started, and every single person at this desk was high on Will Levis. Every single one of us.
Yep.
Especially when you get a banana hole. That's just crazy shit.
I don't understand what you just said.
I get it. He had a banana raw through the
like with the peel and everything.
Okay.
But
you're into different things tonight.
but like he looked the part. He's got the arm. He had the attitude. He was a first round talent.
Yeah.
And he fell out. You guys made the play to go in top of the second round. Fucking genius. I wanted him at the Bucks. I didn't lie about that.
Yeah.
I thought Bryce Young was Kyler Murray, and like you're 5'9", man. I'm sorry. You have all the talent in the world. I'm 5'9".
He's 5'9" with not the arm that Kyler Murray has. So
or the legs.
Or the legs. He's not.
So like you're coming into this equation like you played on a really good Alabama team for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like if you put him on Alabama's team this year, I don't know if they're the same team to be honest. And I think that's why he left. If he had an agent, we all know that. There's no way he didn't.
Yeah.
He was probably like, hey man, you guys are not in great shape next year. Like, this is your ceiling.
Yeah. They don't have the high end skill at receiver. But Alabama has figured out a new way to play, and their new way to play is through Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
Whatever way he wants to do it.
It only took him getting benched and having your guy come in and play for a little bit to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
So
they wanted 3 quarterbacks.
Nick Saban compared him to Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Said sometimes you
like
need
the
to get
actor or
no.
Like
Michael
B. Jordan. Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, he said that by benching him, it showed him what it was like to lose something, and now he'll never play poorly again. It's like, well, you're the coach. I mean, it seems to be working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to question something Nick Saban does.
I mean,
that guy's pretty good at coaching.
Is there enough gas in their season for them to get themselves into the playoff?
They need to make it to Atlanta and the SEC championship game and beat Georgia.
They have to beat Georgia.
And then they'll get through. And in that case, then like everything is mayhem. But the college football playoffs could be mayhem anyway.
That just because you brought it up earlier with the Levis and then I'll have another look. Do you think that the SEC quarterbacks all email each other throughout the year and say, "Hey guys, when we go to the pros, this isn't a comment they all make, right? Oh, I've seen SEC crowds; they're way louder than this NFL
Have you ever been
crowd."
to an SEC game?
No,
neither have I.
Neither have I.
I really want to. but I'm not going to Vandy for it. Like,
no. Yeah.
If you go into Georgia, it's going to be Texas, A&M. You go into Bama, like those places.
Yeah.
It's probably fucking wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, we're also looking at the difference between 100,000 people and 70 something, right? Like the NFL stadiums aren't the same size, and that's going to make a difference. And it's more. I don't think there's a whole lot of like 18 to 22-year-olds at NFL games. I think there's different demographics. It's the older people that are at the games, the 25s to 35s and beyond, that are going to those games. I think there's a different amount of rowdiness that can go on. I don't know, in my opinion.
I saw a video today of Alabama singing Dixieland Delight against LSU, and let me tell you, I'm not an Alabama fan, Watching that, I was like, I can see a roll tide once.
Also,
I'm not a Metallica fan, but I wouldn't mind going down to that. Was it West Virginia?
Yeah.
that does
No,
that?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech story. Yeah,
Virginia's country roads.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, that's right.
the
My buddy Josh went down for that to West Virginia.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a difference too, because like if you went to the school, you have like a tie to it. Whereas like you can love your NFL team, but you didn't go to your NFL. Like you didn't
You
live there
choose
for
it.
4 years, right?
Kenny Pickett did.
That's true. 5 years, and that's why he's what he is. I mean, he's the winner.
Yeah.
We don't.
Because you praise the Pittsburgh program in college.
There's no style points in the NFL.
Stop.
No, the college program in Pittsburgh is kind of stinky right now.
it was good when he was there.
Yeah, I
When
mean,
was the last time that it was really good?
It was him and Jordan Addison.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, prior to that though, because I do remember a time those specific
Dan
blue and
Marino?
pit. Like,
Dan Marino, maybe?
really?
no.
No, they had to have somebody before that was good. I'm thinking of a corner that came out of that was really good, or a safety.
Darryl
Well, Darrell
Revis
Revis
was
went
there.
there, and Aaron Donald went there.
Was
James
him and-
Conner went
yeah.
there. Like they get players. They
Yeah.
get guys that go through there. It's just the ACC. If you're not undefeated Clemson, you're not getting any recognition. Or undefeated, Florida State or whatever it is. Do you guys wake up early and watch the Minnesota or the Miami? And,
Yep.
What'd you think of Miami?
Oh wow, they were off kilter there, right? It's something about those guys. Offenses that go across the water, they definitely don't seem to play very well outside of the Ravens this year. But that's just because I think it's an easy offense. You just run, right?
What about 0-3 against teams with winning records?
Yeah, that's
Miami.
scary. It's
I didn't even know that until
2009 was the last time Pitt was good. They went 10-3.
And
There you go.
who was their quarterback? Does he even say?
You guys can keep talking. I'll figure
Yeah,
this out.
I have a feeling it was like an NFL guy because they, for a team in that conference to do well, like you would need like an NFL caliber.
Dave once now was their head coach.
Okay, and I think he was with the Dolphins for a while, right?
And the Bears for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, overall, you look at like the losses that Miami has, and it's not like they lost to like nobodies.
and also, did they lose on the road? Were those losses on the road?
The Buffalo loss was definitely on the road.
So on the road, then Germany losses on the road, right? This is a team that's probably maybe like Kansas City because they just lost them, but probably a team that's going to have home field advantage, right? And anybody that comes to play in Miami, it's a different game there.
Well, home field advantage would have been throughout the playoffs if they would have
They've
come
been able
in.
to beat KC.
But I mean, Buffalo losing yesterday, like that entire division basically lost yesterday, and the door is open for the Jets, which is kind of amazing to even say that the Jets are still involved in this thing. But you're showing us that video of Aaron Rodgers
doing 3-step dropbacks off the busted Achilles ankle or
Yeah.
Achilles tendon. It's crazy.
There's gonna be some kind of report that comes out about that guy and how like he got like some illegal surgery.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no way that that's all in the up and up.
It reminds me of that UFC like Conor McGregor. You take whatever you can to get healthy. And just then
When
start
Ray
testing.
Lewis took deer antler to get his elbow back inside.
Yeah.
CH, and all of a sudden just death of drug test for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And even if they did, like,
I'd never heard of that quarterback, by the way. It was Bill Sneal that year. Something that is, but
yeah, I don't think he was an NFL quarterback. Yeah,
But yeah, I think the overseas football, like I know they're never gonna stop it, but they really need to stop it.
there's going to be a Super Bowl that's played outside of the U.S.
It is
in
so
the next 5 years.
horrible to watch.
Oh, call it 10 years.
The jet lag is killing these guys. You can tell. Like if you look at the difference, because the Jaguars played 2 weeks in a row. That week 1 Jaguars team played horrible. Week 2, it looked like it was a normal game, another home game for them. It didn't phase them. And it was because they were adjusted, right? These guys are hopping. This isn't a 2-hour difference. This isn't going from New York to California here.
Yeah.
And if you're in California flying to England, that's a 9-hour difference.
Well, and you're not even just flying to England anymore, right? Like you're flying to Germany.
It's like, what's Kansas City to Germany? What's the time difference? That's a Liam question.
What's up?
Kansas City and Miami to Germany. What's the time difference? Maybe 7 hours?
8, I
8
think.
hours?
9:30 they're kicking off. That's supposed to be equivalent to our 1 p.m. Right?
Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, wherever they do the Super Bowl, I think there'll be one played overseas because there's so much money involved in it, and the NFL.
10-hour difference.
7.
7?
Yeah.
So that's a third of a day almost. Is
Right.
what you're trying to adjust your body to.
Yeah, and Kansas City flew out like Friday night or Friday afternoon or something like that. So
Tennessee did too. It was so stupid. They flew it on Thursday afternoon to get there for their Sunday. So they basically landed on Friday to get there
Yeah.
for their Sunday
So
game.
I will
Ravens
tell
are on
you, something's
Tuesday.
gone now back and forth for my own football. That's only 3 hours. Day 1 out there is no problem.
yeah,
Day 2 and 3 are absolutely atrocious. They're the worst feeling you ever feel. You
really.
can't wake up in time. So like I was in BC. I landed Thursday. We had our game Saturday night.
Yeah.
I hated my life. Like that game could not end fast enough, just so I could go to bed, and then I'd hop on a plane the next day and come home.
Sounds fun. I'll do it with you next time.
Yes.
yeah,
We'll probably drink a bit more beer though.
yeah. I mean, probably more tolerable if you're crushed.
That's it the whole time.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun little trip. Thanks
Well,
for the invite.
You're now invited.
yeah,
I even get your sideline pass.
yeah, deal.
We mentioned earlier Mike Evans in a contract year. There's another wide receiver played last night in a contract year. Certainly showed up, had a few rough weeks, but T. Higgins, right? And I think now,
Looked really good. Yeah.
and Jamar Chase sounds like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks at least.
He hit the turf so fucking hard.
Well, and then his quote today was, "I'm just going to support my teammates, man. Let those guys do what they got to do. Only thing I can do is get healthy for the team."
Did they let him back in the game?
Oh, he played. He came back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the bench and he came back in after that. But what it was Chris Collinsworth had said like nobody call him tomorrow
Yeah.
because he's going to be hurting, and that is one of those ones your body's going to be feeling that for the next little while for sure. So
Did anybody see that hit the kid from Minnesota stuff?
the quarterback,
Jaden Hill?
Hall, yeah,
Yeah, Jordan Hall. That kid got laid out and crucified on the ground.
yeah. And then Josh Jobs comes in and saves the day.
Yeah, no, did you not see this thing?
No, I didn't see it.
He, really, first NFL start, going for his NFL moment, half-yard line, he comes in, but then he turns his head like this and exposes all this area.
Oh no.
Now, he hits the ground, holds on the ball. The second he hits the ground, though, full-blown TX.
Oh,
Like just
boy.
crucified on the ground. When the defense is waving for people over, that's not good.
No. Yikes. Hope.
Yeah, he had his come to Jesus moment too.
Speedy recovery. Speedy recovery. Yeah. The Josh Dobbs thing is wild. I don't know if there's really much else you can say, but it's the fact that Minnesota was able to win that game and muster that out says a lot about their coach, I think.
Says a lot about Atlanta.
Yeah, you
This
know
is a
what?
team that took that they had a pick all the way back to the 3-yard line and then had 3 straight plays of negative yards.
Why is Bijan Robinson not on the field?
Ever since that game that he didn't play or he had that issue or whatever, and he wasn't like
Where he was like had the flu or
yeah, so he
whatever,
wasn't
Yeah.
feeling himself or
Did you
something
have
like
sex
that.
with Arthur Smith's wife?
I have no idea, but something has changed
Like,
there.
no,
for
but
sure.
it's a real question.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the funny thing is that there's a video that Arthur Smith's wife put up of their kid dressed up as Arthur Smith calling plays, and the plays that he's calling, he's literally saying Bijan Robinson's name. He's calling plays for Bijan Robinson, yet his dad is not doing it.
Oh
Yeah, you know why? Because
Oh,
Bijan's
no.
not
Oh, stop
Oh,
it.
no.
Stop
you know,
it.
Dad?
Oh boy.
Dad?
This guy.
Well, anyway, we'll move on to the other oh no. You guys want to talk about the Raiders at all? A little bit about that.
I love the Raiders story.
You think it's do you like what with the Antonio Pierce talking about the Giants and that's
phenomenal.
and in front of McDaniels
Fantastic.
right after he gets lambasted by the whole team, and then after all that, McDaniels has the nerve to say, "Don't ever talk about the Patriots like that again." How do you have the nerve when this guy just amped up the team you couldn't amp up for the last 6.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Right in a 25-minute meeting, this guy got more energy out of that team than you ever had, and take offense to your Patriots that won the Super Bowl, or didn't
That's why
but
I
have
was
won
talking
many
about that.
Super Bowls
Yeah.
though, right? But yeah, that's crazy. Crazy what's going down. $85 million. Mark Davis is 1-0 since finally cutting the bowl cut. Right, he got rid of that silly haircut. Right, maybe maybe Mac Crosby talked to him a little bit.
Right.
If you're cleaning house, clean that up there too, right?
That's an $85 million haircut. It sounds like he can afford it, so good on him for getting it. He'll probably just want to cut the checks. Feel like his dad just gets something out of it. But yeah, I mean, they played well. They played better. They found a way to get Josh Jacobs moving, which
played angry.
Yeah.
That's what Ricky said. He ran hard for the first time in a long time. He ran hard, which is crazy because Josh McDaniels' offense was downhill in the tackles running. Right, that's what New England did for so many years. Right, so pretty crazy. Touching on the Raiders, there's another player, Blake Martinez. Remember this guy? He signed with them and he retired to go and sell Pokemon cards.
Yeah, he's back now.
He's back. Yeah, he came out of retirement. He's signing with the Panthers. One of the worst teams in the league, right? It's like not that you were on a good team at that point, but like he retired to sell Pokemon cards to come back and play for the worst
I
team.
bought retirement Josh McDaniels. Like, that's too low.
sadly.
Like that's the guy that drafted Tim Tebow in the first round.
Yeah.
and thought that he was going to be the guy.
I saw, actually, you were talking about the throws into the wind. There was a video of what it's like when you're a high school quarterback trying to throw a football in a windy day. And it was Tim Tebow throwing it at training camp, and it just ducked right out. It doesn't go anywhere, like 10 yards in front of him. It's hilarious. How did that guy get a shot in the first round, eh?
Hey, sometimes you just have to like throw out a flyer,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the Josh Rosens of the world, and apparently we're putting Bryce Young in that category now, which sucks for him. But
A little aggressive, but
because my brother-in-law is a Panthers fan, so I've made
Okay.
sure to watch some Panthers games when I get the opportunity. When he comes over, I can talk to him about it, right? And I just left him alone this past weekend.
yeah,
But that is I wanted to ask him the same question. If Will Levis goes in and does something against Tampa Bay, is there a conversation that you think your team should be having about, oh, we really screwed this up?
well,
I need to move on.
It's not even Will Levis. You could have had CJ Stroud in that.
Yeah,
It's
that's just
like
so
that's
crazy.
that's the part that blew. Like
yeah.
I get what you're saying. With Will
Well,
Levis.
Who's been the quarterback making the decision to be that was
You
Bryce Young.
chose Bryce Young over CJ Stroud, who's played lights out on a really bad team with less talent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, even if you want to say Jaron Hill, he had a better one quarter than Bryce Young's had.
Yeah.
And overall, yeah. I mean,
So I'm not crazy in saying that. I just didn't know if I was seeing things here, or if it was really like this guy is just. And they have put money around him. They tried to do something
Yeah.
to build something anyway. He just has not looked even remotely close to a first round pick, let alone being a first overall pick.
thing is, like at Alabama, they were running a timing offense. They can't run that offense here, so he needs to find a new way to play. And if he can't find that new way to play, I mean, he's going to get his $25 million for his rookie deal,
Yeah,
and
that's it.
That's about it. Yeah.
So Nick wants us to talk about Notre Dame. Yes, we lost. There's a joke. There it is for you. Also, but I reached out to our boy Aiden after this game.
He crushed you guys.
He did. I did the text. I will read you verbatim the text message I sent him because
I love that we met this guy playing Madden.
it's worked out for us.
No, but it's funny that he's been able to give us the inside scoop about playing some of these teams and now trash talking yours years later.
No, it's trash talk. I reached out to him. I was like, as much as it killed me to watch my Irish lose, you hit some amazing balls in the fourth quarter. You made it impossible for him to get off their goal line. Congratulations on the win. His response was, "Thanks, Chad. That was a hell of a game." He's like, "Nice to hear that from a Notre Dame fan." Like, didn't rip me apart, but like, I'm not gonna like go at a guy who single-handedly made our offense have our back against the wall. He had 4 punts inside the 10 in the fourth quarter.
That dude's going to be kicking in the NFL next year.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And Tennessee, unfortunately, doesn't need a punter, but like I hope he lands on a pretty cool team.
But yeah, like I'm just saying, like I first of all, like, there's no way this guy's gonna respond back to me. Like, if I get big time here, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. No, he's not like that.
No, but like he's a nice kid. Like it looks like he won them that game. Like he definitely made it. He was a massive factor in the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, every time I saw him roll out, I was just like, oh, Chad
It's
again, eh?
Why?
Sorry.
Why you gotta do this to me?
Michigan State got their first conference win.
Oh, that's
Against Nebraska.
Yay!
They, I mean, they did everything that they could to lose it, but you know they found a way to hold on because there is no draft picks in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to stack a win here or two, but the roster looks like I don't know.
Talk about a program going through turmoil.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, they've been through a lot of shit over the last.
Both Michigans.
Wow, the other Michigan.
Look at this. They're just pointing fingers. It's like that Spider-Man gif for a meme, right?
Look, I'm saying like one person. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Whatever. One person jerking off on the phone is not worse than stealing signs from the NCAA. Like, yes, he got fired because like personal conduct is like that's messed up. Like, you're an idiot. You make $10 million a year. Like, maybe even if like that's your girlfriend, which it's not. Like, you could have showed better judgment.
You think he would have learned from Brett Favre?
You'd think so, but
even the same jersey colors
for Michigan to defraud an entire conference, I mean, people are pissed.
Feel it.
I just want you to appreciate the comment I sent to Nick Newman right there.
My comments aren't right.
I said you lost to Ryan Shazier's stunt double.
Yeah, I met Ryan Shazier on Thursday. Yeah.
You're mentioning that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Cool guy.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, amazing story. Like, what a recovery. I was talking to my boss yesterday, and I was like, there's no reason for there not to be like a Netflix special about this dude. Like his recovery and like everything that like he went through and all that. I mean, I'm sure there will be one day, or like Amazon Prime or whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know.
I've seen enough crap on Netflix, so there's no way that guy doesn't have a story. About
Right? Yeah, like Johnny Manziel
Like,
signing fake autographs. This guy
Am I
was
wrong?
like,
There's
this guy
so
was
much crap on it.
paralyzed, and then like the Steelers paid his contract for 2 years after, and they continued to renew his contract at $7 million a year for him to like recover and like make money for his
Talking about Netflix documentaries, I didn't watch the Florida one and how
Awesome.
bad it is.
No, it's awesome.
I thought it was
Nah, they
horrible.
left a lot out.
They
Well,
went,
yeah,
they went
Yeah.
so powder puff on that.
yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't for Netflix's image. You certainly know that Florida said there's certain things you can and cannot
Like
put.
that
in.
looked like it was a cry for Urban Meyer to get another
Forget
job.
the Hernandez stuff. How do you not even mention one time about the Pounceys? The Pouncey brothers didn't even get barely talked about.
Yeah, there was a picture of them at one point.
Yeah, and I'm like, how does that not even get remotely mentioned?
And Chris Rainey.
Yeah.
He's the least of the issues there. That guy beat his girlfriend almost to death. Listen, what is it? Sweep that under the rug.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, so I did. I started watching it, and I was probably about 8 or 9 minutes into it. I messaged a friend said I was watching it, and they told me that everything was left out of it, and I just turned it off. I didn't even go into it, and after that,
Yeah,
if it was all going to be about hyping up Tim Tebow, that's all it's going to be to me.
like we
was.
talked about this before this ever even came out, saying
Yeah.
if there was ever a document that had to be made, it has to be on that Gator team. And we were so excited when it got made. I was like, this is such a Disney bunch of BS that they talk about this.
It's probably the only way they could get Tebow in it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
But like,
it was his editor that put it
Tebow's
together.
a weird guy.
Yeah,
Such a weird guy. But whatever. I mean, those guys. Maybe one day they'll come out with like a real story or like the real untrue or untold story of it.
What about the other one about that high school team that was like made up? Did you watch that one yet?
I've not seen the Bishop or
Sycamore Bishop,
Yeah.
whatever. Bishop Sycamore. I want to see.
supposedly they're having a game this year again.
No way.
Yeah.
How was the high school made up?
He literally had 3 people enrolled over the course of 4.5 years. Not a single person graduated. They had men playing in high school football. He would play 3 games in a week sometimes because he said there was no law that prevented him from playing more than one game a week. So he's like, why wouldn't I just play more games then?
Did you hear about the Canada North or Toronto North, the fake school that came out of Canada went down to IMG and got slapped?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like 100 something to nothing at halftime. They shut the lights off and called the game.
Wow.
Oh,
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Josh,
Anyway, but
our
Bishop
boy
Sycamore-
Josh actually knows the name of the school. He was the one that told me about it originally. It was like 96 something at halftime. And they shut the scoreboard off, called the game.
I don't want you to think that made up school was doing well with the men on their team either.
Okay.
They were getting smashed by 30, 40, 50 points.
Yeah, they played IMG as well.
True high schoolers that were just destroying these grown men. Yeah.
That being said, like IMG's like they're a special school. And back to our guy Aiden.
Yeah, that's where he went, right?
That's where he went.
Yeah.
So when I was with the Beefeaters, we had a quarterback they wanted me to look at, and he said he played for IMG, and I was like, "There's no he didn't." Like I said right away, there's no way he did. 'Cause if he did, he's not going to play for me.
Yeah.
Like I know the skill set of the players that we have. So I messaged Aiden, and I was like, "Hey man, have you ever heard of this kid?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "The kids never came here." This kid made an IMG profile
Wow.
and said that he went there and sent it to us.
What is that? He catfished you?
He attempted it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our boy Aiden shut it down on him.
Good stuff.
Yo, don't narc on the guy. Like,
Yeah. Too late now.
Yeah.
One guy's going to the NFL, and one guy
to be
gave up.
unnamed.
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy's going to go kick the NFL. The
Be a
guy's not.
professional, Chad.
Yeah.
Be a professional.
I have sources close to IMG. But yeah, they were there at the same time, and this kid told me he played there, and I was like, "No, you did."
What about we're gonna skip over the Ravens and Seahawks, so I think the Seahawks are just kind of a joke. But Cowboys and Eagles, pretty good game, pretty back and forth, pretty exciting stuff. Think the Cowboys are like a legitimate threat in the NFC? No?
No.
Okay.
No, not Trayvon Diggs. I'm sorry.
If he was there, it's a different story.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
that, and unfortunately, without Trayvon Diggs, there's absolutely no way you stop AJ Brown and or Devontae Smith. Even with Dallas Goedert being out.
Yeah, that really messed up my fantasy football this weekend because now I have no tight end.
Yeah, they just got to find someone to block, right? I mean, they don't need a pass catcher. I'm sure they have whoever George's backup tight end was. But yeah, I mean, watching the game, there were certain points where I was like, wow, Dak's actually playing well. And then rewatching the game, I was like, oh no, the Eagles are playing like shit.
Yeah.
And I think the Eagles have been a little inconsistent, but when you're inconsistent in 8-1, I think that you'll take that.
Should the personal foul on Bayard that kept the Dallas drive even going, right? Like it's like it would have been you guys probably would have got the ball back and would have been up 14 points at that point rather than coming down with a close.
I'm just happy they had a slow start. So I got plus money on them in the second quarter. So
Yeah, and it looked
Can
good.
you just come here for a second, please? You have a hair, and it's been driving me nuts for well over an hour and a half.
What also was crazy is just how fine the line is that NFL players like to walk in the final seconds of a game. That pass to CeeDee Lamb was inches from being able to cross the boundary. Like he caught it on the 1.5 yard line. Like he got smacked by 3 players immediately,
Yeah.
but it's just incredible how quickly they can close the gap to that guy when he catches it in the 1.5 and he still couldn't get in. We're praising high school players that are doing it on the goal line too.
Yeah.
These guys are running full tilt at each other with open space in between them and still being able to stop that. It's just incredible to see that stuff. So
yeah, exactly. And you know what? The some of the like plays coming down the stretch there were a little bit questionable, and I think Mike McCarthy is the biggest like handcuff for any Cowboys fan. I think they have like a decent enough offense, but when they're unwilling to kick a field goal, and then a field goal would have actually tied the game for them coming back down, you can make the argument that they wouldn't have the field position and blah 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 blah. But
So do you think Kellen Moore was the scapegoat then for Mike McCarthy in Dallas?
yeah, you know, like there's certain ways to call plays that is it probably worked in I don't know 2008, but the way you called plays in 2008 are not going to work today. And if you don't have all the like window dressings that are involved with like the Miami offense or you know the Rams for however many years and the 49ers, you're not going to be a dynamic like score all the time. Like I'm a, I'm assuming, and I don't watch a lot of Eagles games, but they have a lot of window dressing on their belt, right? They have motions going here and there, and that's why they can run the ball easily.
no, they just have the best offensive line in all of football.
That's it. They don't motion or anything.
Not very much. No, they straight up just run the ball with just straight power. Yeah, their offensive like Jason Kelsey, Maliata, right? Like they Lane Johnson. Isn't Lane Johnson still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah. So they just think of those names. They just maul people to death. Unfortunately, they've just been really good at that.
Well, yeah, I mean they revamped DeAndre Swift's career.
Like the offense that they run there is the exact offense that AJ Brown came from. That's why he's so successful there. Go over the middle, stop in routes, deep post routes, get your rack yardage after an 8 yard catch on an in route kind of thing. It works for them really, really well.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any takes from the Bills and Cincinnati game, but
Cincinnati's for real, man.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Well, we'll see what happens now with Jamar Chase being there. Like I still think T Higgins is going to be able to step up. He's in a contract year, right? But
yeah, that guy's going to get paid.
Oh yeah,
he's going to get paid a lot of money. If they
come home.
The thing is for Cincinnati, and like it's kind of gross to say this, but like Joe Burrow is playing on like a different level than anybody else is playing quarterback right now, and I don't think it matters who the receivers are. He was throwing fucking touchdowns to Irv Smith Jr. yesterday.
I hate you're gonna hate to say it, but like playing on another level. So the Ravens' defense, though, like that defense is playing on another level too, right? The last 2 weeks specifically, they put.
I think their front seven is amazing.
Yeah.
If anybody comments on Geno Stone leading the league in interceptions when literally he just like is the most convenient fucking safety in the league. Like Geno Smith overthrew a guy by 10 yards and the guy was tying his shoe and he's like, oh wait, I'll catch this. And that's not an interception, man. Like that's not
a fair catch.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fair catch right there.
It's not he's not the one doing it. I like Kyle Hamilton, didn't like where he got drafted. I don't think that they have good corners. But when you have your front seven like that, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Especially when you're mixing in guys like Kyle Van Noy that only need to play 30 snaps. And
situational, when you get to the point of situational pass rushers, you're in a very good place in your front seven.
Yeah.
It's just really ugly if I think we're staring down the Philly and or Cleveland or Ravens Super Bowl final here.
The thing for the Ravens is, yeah, they can stop people, but they don't have an offense that's sustainable for the playoffs.
But that's the thing. Like if the other team is choking the clock, like if you had two teams just running the ball.
The problem with the Ravens is they won't be able to play from behind. That's what it comes down to.
They want to be a passing team.
And if they get into a lead, I think they're in great shape.
They only have like 100 more yards passing this year than they did last year after they fired Greg Roman. Like there's a lot. There was somebody that was on Reddit comparing this, talking about how was Roman the scapegoat and that whole thing. Because Lamar, they talk about how he looks like an MVP this year. And his numbers aren't really that much better than they were last year. They're pretty much the same. It's the timing of the plays have certainly changed, right? But they're still the same team that they've been for the last 3.5 years. But their defense is just up here right now.
Zay Jones is good, and Mark Andrews is good. Problem is they don't have a sustainable running back. But I mean, we'll see. Like this, it's not unheard of for the Ravens teams to peak in October and November.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Ratbirds.
we're only 4 weeks away from Lamar Jackson getting hurt, missing the rest of the season. So, I mean, it's happened the last 2 years in a row. I would imagine it's going to happen again.
They're only 4 weeks away from the season almost being over, boys.
Yeah, oh, man.
How fast has it been already, right?
Yeah, and we actually just kicked off Monday Night Football, Jets and Chargers. So we'll see how that one plays out. Any final thoughts before you guys want to sign off?
Brandon Staley sucks and a choke. So,
all right, that's fair.
The Jets are still making noise. This is crazy. If they can actually keep pace and somehow get a wild card in the playoffs, A-Rod's coming back, guys. Like
he's playing this year.
He can't be just teasing us every single week with these progressions that he's doing.
Yeah.
I want to know how much HGH is in that ankle. That's all I'm saying.
They'll test them. Don't worry. They'll test them. But yeah, let's see how this thing plays out. Hard to believe that we're heading into week 11 for college football, week 10 for NFL football. We're going to go get to enjoy some Monday Night Football here, but we will catch everyone next week. And by then, I will have a boxing record.
And we're going to thank these bad boys.
Oh, yeah, of course. We always got to thank our sponsors.
And ourselves.
We don't thank ourselves. We thank our sponsors. Yeah. Thank you for cutting me off and telling me that. Definitely check out our sponsors. All of them are listed on our website, goinfor2.com, and you can get a direct link from them. And if you ever need to get in touch with anybody else that we have on guests on the show, let us know and we will connect you with them too. But until next week, we will sign off for now.